What's up, Sportman family? It's your boy Sporkman, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're talking about Battles of Legend, Monster, Mayhem, and we've talked a lot about this set already, but there's a lot left to talk about as well, and some things that I'm noticing with Konami as well that I want to bring up. But first, I want to preface this by saying that I absolutely cannot wait for this set. Starlight Rays are back. We're getting emblems. We're getting chibi artworks. There's more reveal in this video that we're about to show as well. But there's something that I'm starting to notice. I'm getting a little bothered by it. I know I probably shouldn't because as a nostalgic player myself, I love nostalgic cards. But I almost feel like to a point, I know the chibi artwork is a lot different from just regular artwork. I get all that, right? But I almost feel like they're using nostalgia way too much these days. I'm not sure if anyone else feels that way. But like personally, I just wish they created something new and exciting for us to kind of like be into, you know, like the next new thing. I feel like we're harping so much on the past, right? We're always talking about 5Ds, we're always talking about GX, we're always talking about the, Dual Monster. We're always talking about those old eras that were very successful. I love it. Everyone loves it. But I feel like there's so much attention on the past that we're never looking towards the future and building anything for the future. We're always trying to rely on the past. And I feel like Konami especially is doing that and just milking the crap out of it. I understand with Bananas and Stampede they want to celebrate. And I understand the chibi artworks are different. I get all these things. But at some point, like, it just needs to kind of like stop too. I just feel like it's so much milking of the past that we're not getting to see the future, what Yu-Gi-Oh could be, or like get into new cards or get into new things. And yes, I know the anime helps a lot with these types of cards, propelling itself to be amazing and to collect them and to all these things. But that's also on Konami to create an amazing anime for us to watch. And for us to be into these new cards, for us to, want to collect these new cards and make them the new thing, popularize those things. And then years in time, we look back and we want to collect those cards instead of just Dual Monster era and GX era and 5Ds era and Zexel era to a point, right? So like there's things that we are kind of abusing that I'm noticing, and it's just kind of getting annoying at this point to kind of see the same cards being brought to us in a different rarity, a different art. It's just the same thing just being brought to you again and again and again, and it's just at some point it gets kind of tiresome. Now listen, I'm all for nostalgia. I'm all for going back in the past, reliving my childhood and all these things, because I love ripping those packs, right? The retro pack, all these types of things. It's enjoyable. Like, don't get mistaken, it's enjoyable. But at some point, like, let's start working towards the future, right? Let's start working towards getting kids back into this game, not just seeing adults everywhere we look, right? Yes, I know technically all the kids turn into adults now. We're still part of this game, but we still need that young crowd to now keep the game alive. I've always talked about it. The game survives because of the young crowd, right? The adults will eventually grow up and the game will end up fading because, people grow up. Like, it happens, right? Other things become more important. And also, things start to fade. As much as, you hate to say it, you're not going to be spending all these hundreds of dollars at like 60 years old, 50 years old, years later, still spending it on Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, it's just not it's not realistic, you know what I'm saying? So the game survives based on the young crowd. And that's why we see Pokemon and all these other card games thriving so much, because they're kind of like favoring that young crowd, right? They're allowing the young crowd to kind of get into the game and the opportunity to collect and play as well. Where I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like, there's such a big barrier right now. And I hate that. I hate that feeling that there's such a big barrier for new people to enter, and especially young kids to enter as well, because, they are the future. They're the future of this game. And Konami right now, I think they're not looking at that anymore. They're just like, okay, how can we keep on going back into the past, because obviously we can't get new players. Well, you can, it's just you're not putting in the effort. And I feel, not to, bash on this set, because that's not really what I want to do, but it sucks that, again, we have Blue Eyes as the cover, and all these things. Like, we've seen that again and again, like the past few months, just having blue eyes on this, blue eyes on that, blue eyes on this, blue eyes on that. It's like, okay, like we get it. Like we get it. You love blue eyes. We love blue eyes too, but like we need to move on too. So I love Konami to an extent. I say that to an extent because I also bash them a lot. But they did give me the game that I truly love and I have so much passion for, but it just sucks that they're so stuck in their ways about certain things. And again, I know it's fun to live nostalgia, but again, it's fun to also live new things too. We always talk about like movies, like they're making a sequel for this movie, making a sequel for that movie. Like make a new thing for us to like enjoy. Stop milking other things, because when you bring it out, it ends up not being what it was, right? So we always talk about the sequel not really living up to what the original was. So it's stuff like that I think about with Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm like, damn, man, like we have nothing to look forward to. And that's just how it feels. But let me know what you think, because I really want to know your thoughts about this as well. Because I know it's fun to live your nostalgia childhood past and get these types of cards and live in Bonanza, live in Retro Pack, live in these tribute artworks, and live in this era of Yu-Gi-Oh! That we're getting so much stuff like this. But then it gets to a point where it's just like, okay, like you're kind of like okay, like what else? What else can you give us besides just this? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I just wanted to touch base on that. But again, I'm not hating on this set. I really am not. There's so much to look forward to. It's just a little worrisome. Something to put out there for you to think about as well. But they did release the booster box artwork, which I'm such a fan, by the way. Like, I think as of recent, right, the artwork that Konami has been releasing for sets has been fantastic, right? I've just been seeing just an improvement in the artwork of the cards. It's maybe a fan of even collecting common cards as well, because I love the way they look. Back in the past, you couldn't see me collecting like just random common cards, but these days, like, I've become a fan of what they've been doing. The little intricacies of certain cards, it's fun to look at, fun to examine. I feel like with age, I'm becoming like more and more in depth with like the art of Yu-Gi-Oh! I even bought a book of the art of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which it's funny to say, but I feel like I'm getting old to an extent by saying that. But it's fun to see. It's fun to see them, creating such unique designs. And I do love the chibi artworks. I do think they're very, very unique, very cool. It's just another way to play on the nostalgia era, which again we just talked about. But they are really, really cool to look at. I do think that it's such a cool cartoonish feature. Skull Servant it looks incredible. I absolutely love the Junk Warrior as well. The Dark Paladin, the Gores, the Neos. I love the Ojama. It's fun. It definitely is fun. I don't want to take away from that, so don't get that mistaken from what I just previously said, because they do look amazing. I hope for more, but like I said, I hope for more towards the future as well. I hope we're looking towards the future to create future things as well, so that way we can make chibi arts of the future cards like this as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions. But these are the new designs that they came out with some of the chibi artworks. It's fun, it's exciting, it's new, and hopefully we get more new things. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions, everything that I mentioned. What do you think about this design as well? But that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, like I said, and please subscribe and comment, and peace out, YouTube.